Nigga, you here, right here, Gene. Welcome to episode 2 of how to improve your racecraft on GTA 5 or in any racing game in general, I suppose. Just to get a visualization and the concept of taking lines and how to approach situations. So in today's episode, we're covering mainly defense, but you see a few attacking maneuvers. But on the left-hand side, you see Yuchi, a combo, going to take the line on the left, which you see labeled. I'm going to go straight on the right-hand side and defend by inside line, which you see the red label there. Now, exactly what happens, not what you see in the situation. I'm going to protect the inside as I cover of his hairpin. What Combo is going to do is going to take the outside, which is actually a really smart maneuver because right behind us was another player, and Combo's got to defend that second position at the same time attack me as well, whilst I have to protect my position as well. So you can see there the black car creeping up and inside, but Combo does well, sticking to the outside, protecting that second position. So hairpin, another hairpin is a Z hairpin. Pretty much went smoothly at this point. And we're going to approach a double left-hander here before a right-hander. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So everything seems fine at the moment. Combo is keeping up. The whole point of attacking is to make sure you apply a lot of pressure to the appropriate line. Slightly oversteered there, but it's okay. He's still keeping up. And he's going to get quite a bit of speed at this point, which I'm going to break down real quick at this point here as to when approaching the double right-hander. This is what happens. So I'm going to switch towards the inside line yet again on the right-hand side. You see the red mark there, whereas Yuchia is going to be sort of forced to go on the outside. That's pretty much how you defend. When you defend, you're going to actually protect your position, do whatever it takes to make life difficult for the person behind to overtake. So quite often, you don't protect your inside, but at the same time, you sort of mix it up, really sort of play mind games with the person behind. But when you force someone on the outside, it's extremely difficult to overtake on the outside unless you have proper throttle control. At this point, the optimal line is the black line you see on the left-hand side. Right, that's what he should have taken to overtake me, whereas I protected the inside, which he actually took as well initially, so he's going to get blocked off. Sort of, him making the wrong decision there, and really comes down to anticipating the situation. So, see there, kind of gets blocked off because I protected my inside. He should have went on around the outside. Now, at this point, he actually does well. He goes wider than me on the exit and the entrance of this corner, so he's keeping up with me bumper to bumper at this point. But this is where it gets interesting, where he's now set himself up to actually get a pretty nice overtake against me. I'm on the inside, so I'm vulnerable on the exit and actually approaching this inside corner. But the way he took it was kind of wrong. Now, the way he took it, he should have actually kissed the apex and straightened his car really quickly. But then you see he kind of failed there, so I'm going to rewind back real quick as to why he didn't overtake there. So you see at this point, right, pause it here. The optimal line is the orange line you see on the screen labeled there. He could have straightened up and easily taken me, but he followed my car and he didn't actually put the two wheels on the apex like I didn't as well. Now, if he had straightened up early and got the right braking point and exited out, he would have actually easily overtaken me on this straight on the exit of this left right-hander. So that's why the gap stayed the same at this point. Once again, it's slightly turning earlier than usual, and at this point he made a mistake again. The orange line is the optimal line at which he should have taken, like what I've just done, on my screen, and that is why the gap actually slightly increases and he's not actually bumper to bumper anymore. And that's why you should always prioritize wide in, and wide out, and that's why you carry the optimal speed. But at the same time, really, preparing yourself in a situation once you do get bumper to plan the overtake, but you have to prioritize the optimal lines, because at this point yet again he fails. Also, the optimal line is the orange line you see on the left hand side to carry the most speed through the corner to prepare yourself for the consecutive corner, because now the way he's approached this angle, it's going to be awkward for him once he gets a little bit of airtime to prepare himself for the consecutive corner. As you see, the line that I've taken is the orange line from what you saw, and now I prepare myself really well, and he once again is an awkward position for him now for the next corner. He should be on the orange line on the left hand side, which I've taken on my screen for making myself easier to take the corner and carry a lot more speed. It's basically the optimal line, but he hasn't done that, so that means the gap is going to increase from him and me. So on the straight, for the final straight, by the way, this is Chicken Grand Prix, try out for yourself, link in the description, part of the Zoo King playlist. I believe it's the 6th or 5th track. So that's why the gap has increased at this point, because he's not taking the optimal lines in the battles. It's important to prioritize lines in certain situations to close the gap out and really apply the pressure. So but at this point, he did take a really awesome line here on the first corner on the right hander, and he's really doing well to keep up at this point. The gap is pretty much the same, but he does close it out really well in the next few corners, so there's no need to break it out, because pretty much we're taking good lines here, optimal lines. Basically, whole concept is wide apex, wide out to carry the most speed. That's the optimal line. So that's always, you got to remember that in any corner. So this is where things go a little bit wrong for him again, so I'm going to break it down real quick. So this is where bang, at this point he followed my line. Should never follow my line. Should actually go a little bit wider. You see that, or labeled with the orange line, or I just labeled pretty much the optimal line that he should be taking to actually keep up with me and catch up to me bumper to bumper. But he instead followed my line. So what happens is he's going to oversteer because of the entrance and exit of the corner, because he got the throttle control completely wrong as to how I got it, because I was confident with that line. But when he follows someone else, quite often he will oversteer in the situation, especially when he's using the Dominator. But it's awesome to see both Dominators up front here. So this way he actually keeps up. The lines that he took here is pretty decent actually, you know, keeping up really well, and the distance is pretty much the same as it was from starting off the lap. This is where he gets a pretty awesome line here and keeps up with me, and he's going to cut back in right away, whereas I go wide because I wasn't really confident with this line, but he is confident. So once again, this is where the scenario repeats itself, where I am not predictable, I'm vulnerable, but what he should have done, he should have actually cut back in, because I created a gap which I made myself in a vulnerable position, because it's very predictable. I did the same maneuver again from the previous lap. He should have, instead of going on the outside, he should have cut in, but this is all to do with braking points. It's extremely difficult to do it in a hairpin, because this time the guy behind us was, you know, wasn't that near, wasn't that close. He should have actually cut in. He could have an easy overtake, because he saw the gap there that I created for him on the inside, but he didn't take it. So that's the opportunity gone. But it's, like I said, it's extremely difficult to prepare yourself for a hairpin overtake, because those are extremely difficult with the angles that you have to take it at. So here we go. This point, you know, he's taking it really well, and he's caught up to me, but he's got a car to worry about behind him, but he's doing well to keep up with me. This is where it was awesome. This guy actually pulled off one of the sickest overtakes that I wasn't prepared for. I mean, yeah, I guess I didn't force him to do this, but I wasn't expecting him to do it at this point. So once again, the same maneuver that I pulled, so I don't have to break this down. I was trying to protect the inside. He's going around the outside. He gets me on the outside overtake, and he also went around the outside for the next corner to prepare himself, and bang! At this point, he did a really awesome defensive maneuver. He protected the inside and broke really hard on the apex. I should have went around the black line you see on the right hand side. That's the optimal line I should have taken to overtake him and counter overtake him. But you know, it didn't work out for me, and he really caught me out there. But this is where I recovered. So I went wide and I can cut in, whereas he sort of got a tight angle to the entrance of the apex. So when he exits out, it's going to lose a lot of speed compared to me, where I'm going to carry a lot more speed. So this is where it gets interesting. So this is where I was preparing myself, making sure that I don't allow the person behind me to overtake. I carry the optimal speed, so I'm bumper to bumper. And this is what he should have done in the previous lap against me. So I'm going to kiss the apex, and I'm going to carry that speed, so I'm bumper to bumper, which he should have done previously. And this is where it gets interesting, because I had optimal line against him. He wasn't on the racing line. He was actually slightly tight. Yet again, onto the apex. He's going to exit out pretty awkwardly as well. He's going to lose a lot of speed. And this is where I forced him into an error to oversteer. And sometimes forcing into error is always a great thing to do, especially when you carry optimal speed around optimal line. And I was able to cut in whilst he oversteered and made a mistake and go for the overtake, which I took advantage of. And in this situation, there is bound to be a collision, but it's okay, because his mistake, which I actually helped him come back onto the track, I took him on the outside, and that's pretty much it. You know, at this point, he actually loses out on 2 positions on just a couple corners, really. So it's important that, you know, you prioritize certain situations with optimal racing lines, carry the speed, but at the same time defending a position as well through the appropriate braking points and lines taken. You gotta really make it difficult for the person attacking behind and trying to push them, you know, push them to the points where overtaking is extremely difficult with outside lines, because those are the most difficult overtakes. But he actually managed to pull it off, which was awesome. But then I managed to counter move him right after the next few corners, because I had optimal lines in my head, and that's something that you gotta prioritize, to be bumper to bumper every time. You know, you don't wanna always approach a corner tight with a tight angle. You always want to go wide in. That's how you keep the pressure, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully you guys found it useful. I know there's a lot of things going on, but you know, it's a quick video, but you know, it's sort of showing you how a situation is approached, and not always taking an optimal line when defending. When defending, you're making it difficult for the person behind. But when you're attacking, that's when you gotta take optimal line to keep up with the person, and then prepare yourself and anticipate situations. And also, don't forget to prepare yourself for the consecutive corners with optimal lines as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys find it useful. I'll see you guys soon. Check you soon. Now, good night, peace. Yeah. Hey guys, Shiggy here, aka Gene. I suppose you could say it's a brand new series for GTA 5 on my channel to do with racing and competitive racing, and how to actually improve your racecraft. I apologize for the sound in the background. Some sort of construction is going on the other side of the house. I don't know why, but it's extremely annoying. But yeah, this series is basically bringing you more perspectives into the play now with what you're watching with video content. Before it was all about my point of view, but now it's going to be more POVs coming into play, because PS4 obviously has the share play recording thing.